I'd like to hear your take on the Brian Birmingham quitting situation. Even if it's just to hear you shit on corporations and capitalism again, I will happily look at that. Classic WoW technical lead developer Brian Birmingham has left Blizzard Entertainment under protest after refusing to give out an undeservedly low employee evaluation in order to fill competitive stack ranking quotas. Sorry, wait, what? I don't understand. Require big executive leadership. Okay. Let's start again. As reported by Bloomberg, Blizzard implemented the stack ranking system in 2021, which requires a certain number of employees to be given low reviews in order to create a bell curve. Yeah, nothing like a bell curve. Like, bell curves are awesome. Like, bell curves work, don't they? Especially if you have to literally fucking fake them. Dude, the thing is, right, bell curves, they just occur naturally. But also, we're going to have to make rules that make sure that they happen. What the fuck, man? I wasn't intending to make this public, but apparently it is in the news already, so I'd at least like to set the record straight. I am no longer an employee of Blizzard Entertainment, though I would return if allowed to, so that I could fight the stack ranking policy from inside. I'm told the forced stack ranking policy is a directive that came from the ABK level above Mike Ybarra. I don't know for sure, but I suspect it's true. Everybody at Blizzard I've spoken to about this, including my direct supervisors, expressed disappointment. For those who don't know, ABK is the parent company formed when Activision Publishing expressed their interest in buying World of Warcraft from Vivendi in 2008. Blizzard's marketing value was enough that Activision Publishing could not buy it outright. Instead, they arranged to form a new company called Activision Blizzard, which would own Activision Publishing and Vivendi's game division, including Blizzard Entertainment. Vivendi, blah, blah, blah. Okay. In creating Activision Blizzard, they needed an executive, and Bobby Kotick from Activision Publishing was selected as the new CEO. Like Mike Morhaime, still president of Blizzard at the time, reported up to Bobby Kotick's staff at Activision Blizzard. Bobby and an investor group staged a hostile takeover, meaning that they bought up more than 50% of Activision Blizzard shares. I forget which year this happened, but it resulted in greater control. Activision Blizzard then acquired King, becoming Activision Blizzard King, or ABK. Right, good. The first year we were asked to meet specific quota of developing ratings was in 2020 evaluations across the winter of 2020-2021. This was also the first year they tried to unify the review appraisal systems across the three child business units. Activision Blizzard and King all had similar appraisal processes by this point. ABK wanted to unify them into one. Presumably this was the motivation of enforcing a 5% development rating. Okay. We at Blizzard pushed back pretty hard in 2021, and I truly believed we had reversed the developing quota policy. When the sexual harassment lawsuit was revealed later that year, we saw some change following that as well, and it felt like we could make an impact on ABK policies. The realization that there's still a minimum quota for developing, despite our objections and sternly worded letters, leads me to believe I was operating under an illusion. I hope Blizzard's positive culture can overcome ABK's poison, but it isn't succeeding in doing that. So having expelled all that, I bear no ill will towards my former colleagues at Blizzard. The Blizzard I knew and always wanted to work for is being torn apart by the executives at ABK, and it makes me sad. I truly respect the developers I worked with at Blizzard. I will still play Blizzard games. The developers at Blizzard are still amazing. Dragonflight and Wrath of the Lich King Classic are gems. Dragon Riding is amazing in Dragonflight, as is the Ulduar Raid and the new Titan Rune dungeons in Wrath of the Lich King. But ABK is a problematic parent company. They put us under pressure to deliver both expansions early. It is deeply unjust to follow that by depriving employees who worked on them their fair share of profit. The ABK team should be ashamed of themselves. This is really interesting. They put us under pressure to deliver both expansions early. I don't think that shows in Dragonflight, which means, unfortunately, that a lot of fucking crunch went down, right? I must stress that the above is my best recollection of events. It covers lots of years, and human memory is notoriously imperfect. I do believe that the broad strokes are correct. The developing quota is toxic. It is ABK policy. It is being forced on Blizzard. I can't tell you whether to boycott Blizzard games or not. How best to express your displeasure is up to you. Oh, me and Brian feel the same about a lot of things, clearly. As I said above, I won't boycott, but I can't participate in a policy that lets ABK steal money from deserving employees, and I can't be made to lie about it either. So yeah, so like their literal kind of bonuses are based on this, right? So this isn't even just a fucking ego thing. This isn't even a career development thing. This is like people's money right now that they have worked for and that they have earned and which they deserve. And to wrap up, I want to again clarify that I was surprised to see the Bloomberg article below. I did not provide them the email they're quoting from, but I believe the quotes are accurate. They have neither spoken to me nor reached out in any way. Bloomberg can go fuck themselves. Also. When he says both expansions, they put us under pressure to deliver both expansions early. He has literally, in the tweet before that, been talking specifically about Dragonflight and Wrath of the Lich King. So following the rules of grammar, I would assume he is talking about Dragonflight and Wrath of the Lich King when he says they put us under pressure to deliver both expansions early. For me, that means Dragonflight and Wrath of the Lich King, right? I haven't played much Wrath, but it doesn't show that it was forced out the door early for Dragonflight, I don't think, which means I think that just means they absolutely fucking nailed them in terms of work hours, which I hate and is bad, and fuck that shit. I would always rather an expansion or a game come out later because the fucking workers are treated right, you know that. A union would have indeed fixed this problem, yeah. This is what Brian Halinka was talking about in his recent tweet thread as well. I know this will sound like vague tweeting, but man, I don't really think I would be I didn't really think I would be a strong advocate for unions in the game industry until working at Blizzard over the past 2 to 3 years. I really love the people I work with and my immediate bosses, but beyond that, oh trust. I am the grandson of a small businessman. Most of my family and area where I grew up leaned politically right. Unions being bad was sort of ingrained in me, but just over and over and over again, it feels like our collective will is being tested. In hindsight, I would say that is absolutely referring to Brian Birmingham being sacked. Maybe the Wowhead article can gives a bit more information on this. When team leads were asked why we had to do this, so this is the email that Brian Birmingham did not provide Bloomberg with, but which he thinks is accurate. When team leads asked why we had to do this, World of Warcraft directors explained that while they did not agree, the reasons given by executive leadership were that it's important to squeeze the bottommost performers as a way to make sure everyone continues to grow. And look, I don't want to be a fucking arsehole about this, but that is one of the founding principles of capitalism in general. Capitalism does not work if you don't have an underclass. Capitalism does not work if there is not a threat. Capitalism does not work if there aren't people earning less than other people. It's as simple as that. It's built into the system. That's how it works. And that is applying those principles to a much smaller kind of demographic and like a workplace. And this idea that there must be people who aren't performing at the level of everyone else. And even if there literally aren't people who are underperforming, we have to say that there are, because otherwise it doesn't fucking work. And it's the same principle. It's that thing of like, no. There must be workers who we identify as being underperforming. And if there aren't, we'll just fucking impose it. And that's all very well and good. That's fucked up enough as it is. That's stupid enough as it is. But when you're talking about this being linked to, it sounds like fucking bonuses, because he's talking about profit and money here. Like, it sounds like, you know, these performance reviews are linked to your bonus and the literal money you get paid. So you can be just as good as the person you're working with, and you will not literally be paid as much because someone has to be called underperforming. How fucking insane is that? And, like, who should really get the blame for that? If people really are underperforming, like, surely it's the boss's fault for the fuckers that they hired. It's like, if anyone should lose money on that, it should be the motherfuckers that hired them. It should be, look, you are hiring shit people. I'm going to dock your pay. We're paying these motherfuckers what we said we were going to pay them, but you hired some shit motherfuckers, docking your pay for that. Like, if anything, it reflects worse on the higher-ups. It should do anyway, in my opinion. Apparently not. But here you've got people that are performing because they are hiring good people. You've got people that are performing at the top level, and they have to pretend that they're not because there has to be someone at the fucking bottom. Fucking wild. And to be clear, they don't want to discipline these people. They don't want to fire these people. They are arbitrarily labeling some people as being underperformers when, according to their managers, they are not. How is that fucking legal? You got motherfuckers that will rail against any kind of fucking, culture quotas in the workplace, but when it comes to like quotas that say someone is fucking like underperforming so they don't get paid as much, oh, those are fucking fine, man. Like, absolutely insane. Maybe they hired really good people. Well, they did, according to their managers. That's the thing. Like, here's the problem. Nobody is underperforming, according to Brian Birmingham. Like, his entire point is no one is actually underperforming, but he has to find some people that he says are, because, like, there is a minimum requirement. There is a quota that they have to keep of like, some people have to be underperforming, some people have to be marked as satisfactory, and some people have to be marked as yay, right? To maintain the bell curve. All these things, all these like natural hierarchies that people say occur naturally. Amazing how much effort we have to put into fucking maintaining them all the time, isn't it? Can you remember that next time you fucking see Jordan Peterson defending shit like this? Next time you see Jordan Peterson being like, oh, you know, it's been proven that in the workplace, 20% of the workers will do 80% of the work. Yeah, you know why? Because it's fucking arbitrarily enforced in fucking quotas like this. Even when people are doing the same amount of work, companies pretend that they don't. Like, these are artificial fucking bell curves. You know? They don't mean anything. They are arbitrarily applied. And you got the motherfuckers that are being forced to apply them telling you that they're bad shit. Bad impression, you forgot to start crying. It's true. In the long run, it creates a worse performing workforce, but they don't care about that. If they cared about an efficient workforce, they'd make people work 4 days a week, because that is, like, statistically proven to be the most efficient fucking week. But they don't care about that. They don't actually care about getting the most work out, because maintaining this fucking broken, crooked system that they also have is actually more valuable to them. Maintaining the bullshit fucking hierarchy that the economic system gives them is more beneficial to them than actually being efficient and producing good work. A failing like business that still makes millions of dollars and that I'm at the top of is better than an efficient business where everyone has the same rights as me. Like, it's absolutely fucking insane. That is not what people will take out of this. People, you know what most of the internet will take out of this? Blizzard bad, WoW sucks. And they're half right. Blizzard bad. I'm disgusted and not surprised in any way that this system exists in any business place. And I'd like you to remember, like, this isn't going to be unique to Blizzard. The only thing that's unique to Blizzard in this situation is a fucking baller like Brian Birmingham walking out because of it. Technically, dude's been sacked, but in reality, dude walked out. Like, if they're like, you have to do this shit thing, and you say, I ain't doing the shit thing, and they say, if you don't do the shit thing, we're going to sack you, and you say, I still ain't doing the shit thing, like, yeah, you've technically been sacked, but really, you've walked out. Yeah, and that's the thing, man. We can all sit here going, well, this will change when Microsoft take over. I bet you £1 million Microsoft have the same, a very similar system fucking in place. You know? And yeah, Microsoft just laid off 10,000 people. I don't think we're much safer with them, honestly. It shouldn't be up to, like, whether, like, fans of a game can organize into boycotting efficiently. Like, a worker's rights shouldn't fucking depend on that. The workers should have the means to look after themselves. It shouldn't, like, I shouldn't have to vote with my wallet. Everyone should be treating the workers right anyway. This is when all this started kicking off, obviously. People working for me know I'm responsible for their performance evaluation. If I hold that over them when they're making decisions, that's not leadership, that's bullying. It's important that I make clear that they can disagree with me and still do a good job. Likewise, it's my responsibility to recognize and promote, in both senses of the word, people who contribute to the success of their peers. Fostering an environment of teamwork and cooperation is probably the most important aspect of this job. Like, having a fucking job shouldn't be like Big Brother. You know? It shouldn't be like, well, you can all work as hard as you like, but at the end of the episode, one of you, no matter how you perform, is going to get voted into the fucking you don't get paid as much category. Because we arbitrarily have to do it. And it's got nothing to do. Like, if all of you perform to the exact same level, one of you is still going to get paid less. That is some fucking bullshit. And it has to be illegal. The forced stack ranking policy is clearly bullshit. I don't think even the most, like, die-hard corporate capitalist would come out and say that there's any reason to this, apart from to keep workers in a state of anxiety and fear and, like, you know, arbitrarily rank, like workers, even if they are all performing at the same level. There is a purpose. Money has to be cut on an annual basis to maximize profits. Yes, exactly. They have to justify some people not earning their fucking bonus, right? But it's more than that. It is more than that. It is like this thing of capitalism doesn't really work if homelessness doesn't exist. Capitalism doesn't really work if unemployment doesn't exist. And this isn't me being like, you know, a scaremonger or a conspiracy theorist. Like, literal economists agree on this, right? You know, like, too little unemployment is bad for capitalist economies because, like, capitalism needs unemployment to work. You know, like, the worker can't have too much power, otherwise it doesn't work. I think that's bad. You know, your mileage might vary, you might think other things, and that's fine too. We're allowed to disagree. Personally, I think that's bad. Like, an economic system which requires unemployment, I think is bad, especially when the people that lionize and promote that system are also against any kind of social security or social safety net, you know? So it's like, we are advocating for a system that requires a certain amount of unemployment to even work, but at the same time, we don't want to support anyone who's unemployed. I personally think that's bad. I think it's absolutely fucking insane. I think everyone is right to shit on Blizzard for this, and Activision Blizzard for this. Like, absolutely correct to, for this insane fucking force stacking category that they have to maintain an artificial bell curve, and most importantly, deny people money and bonuses that they have earned. At the end of the day, if you care about nothing else, you should care about the fact that in Brian Birmingham's opinion, who manages these people have earned the bonuses that they are due, and they are being denied. They are having their fucking bonuses stolen off them for arbitrary reasons. Like, whatever your political affiliation, whether you're a fucking communist or a fucking capitalist or anything in between, you should think that's bad and wrong, right? And that's fucking awful. And this is something that every big company does. It's baked into the system. And it's insane. It's absolutely insane. I bet you Microsoft has something similar going on. I bet you Square Enix has something similar going on. I bet you the fucking bakery down the road, if it's corporate owned, has something similar going on as well. And it's shit. And, like, I wish it wasn't the case, but a union would fucking help. That's all I'm saying. Anyway. Thank you, Brian Birmingham, for making this public. My takeaway from this is not WoW sucks, obviously. My takeaway from this is the stance that I hold every single day and will fight to the death for. Corporations all fucking suck. They all fucking suck. Get rid. Keep the good stuff, get rid of the bad stuff. This is definitely the bad stuff. Like and subscribe, patrons $1, thanks.